Hey Jeff, just doing a demo for you and a few of our early customers. First of all, I haven't done many of these demos, so if I start to stutter or something, please forgive me. So why did we start working on FitCentives? So back in September, I went ahead and spoke to 60 actual customers, actual gym owners. I wanted to figure out what the pain points were and what kind of issues they were facing whilst running their business. So after doing a few interviews, I started to see a trend very, very quickly. The pain points were very similar. So what kind of pain points were there? There were a ton. But some were glaringly obvious. The way gym owners were generating prospects, following up with them, converting them into members was broken. A lot of them were generating leads, but they couldn't really convert them. A lot of follow-up was done manually. A lot of gym owners were using different applications, so many different applications for their communication and follow-ups, which were costing them a lot of money. As well as that, they were confused among so many different apps and having the data in so many different places. So they were using apps such as MailChimp, Infusionsoft, Scipio, Slider, ClickFunnels, Calendly to book their book their sessions, schedule ones. As well as that, they were paying for their normal gym memberships, normal gym membership applications such as Zen Planner or MindBody. So I thought, why not build something that doubles their sales by helping them automate and manage their sales system? As well as doing that, we will also help them get rid of so many applications, saving them a ton of money and hassle. So we started to build a CRM with all the communication tools in it to automate and manage lead follow-up process. So here's how the demo is going to go down. I'm going to quickly show you features. I will show you the actual designs as it's a mobile solution, so it's going to be harder to show everything on a screen, but I will try my best to do that. So first of all, we decided to go for a mobile-first solution rather than a web-based solution. We realized that gym owners or trainers were always on the go. They were really busy. They needed something which they could use instantly. For example, most importantly, when a prospect contacts the gym or pays for a promotion, you might be running online, they need to be contacted and booked in for an orientation, first workout consultation instantly. If you don't do that, they will go somewhere else. So they need to be contacted there and then within minutes. You can't wait to go. You don't have the luxury to go back into your office, open up your laptop, log into your application, and then find out what's happening and start following up with your customers or your potential customers. It's too late. By then, they've moved somewhere else. They've gone to another gym who were quicker than you. So just imagine, if you look at the screen, just imagine you are running a promotion on ClickFunnels called 21 days for $21. Typically, when what happens right now is, typically when someone opts in or pays for the promotion as a gym owner, what you would do is you would have a VA, a virtual assistant, or one of your admin staff. They would go in, manually extract the data from ClickFunnels. So they would manually extract the information about the person who paid for the offer. They would enter that into spreadsheet and other applications like MailChimp, Scipio, and MindBody. By default, that means you've missed out on following up with them instantly because the manual extraction takes some time. You don't know whether the admin staff has done it there and then, or they did it like a day later. But just imagine you have FitCentives integrated with your ClickFunnels account. Imagine you have someone called Katy Perry. Excuse me for the name, couldn't really think of a better name, but anyway. You imagine you have someone called Katy Perry who opts in and pays for the promotion. You, as a gym owner, will get instant notification on your phone. You will tap on the notification and you will see Katy Perry residing in FitCentives there and then. Do not forget, this is instant. So for example, Katy Perry posted a promotion on ClickFunnels. You will get a notification on your phone there and then. You will be able to see Katy Perry in FitCentives there and then. There's no manual extraction. There's no time wasted. Right now, so Katy Perry is in your application, FitCentives. Now, what do you do from there? You can go about following up with Katy Perry in two ways. You can either manually follow up with them, or you can automate the whole process, or you could do a combination of both manual and automated. I'm going to show you the manual follow-up first and then show you how you could also automate the whole thing. Both are extremely powerful. So let's start with manual. So as you can see, you've got Katy Perry there. That's just come in. She's paid for a promotion called 21 days for $21. You have just seen her in FitCentives. You might want to start following up with her there and then yourself. So you will simply click on this and you will see Katy Perry's all details which she put in her lead profile, in her profile. As you can see, her phone number is there, which she put in, her email address is there, what promotion she paid for, when does the promotion start and ends. So one of the first things you could do is you could make a call from there. You see this? What that would do is that would call her from the app, and then it would just log the call history within the application as well. You could tap on this, you can tap on this icon, and you could send her an SMS. So essentially, whatever features people are used to using in Scipio, we have them all in FitCentives, obviously along with many other features. So let me show you the SMS feature. So you've come over here, you want to send Katie an SMS to follow up with her, ideally to bring her in for her first workout or for her orientation. You would click on this and you would come to the SMS feature from here. You can send a normal text, or you can choose to send a text message. You could choose to have a templated message. You could just tap on it and then that would appear over here and you could send that, saving you a lot of time. By the way, you will see in the designs, some of the designs, you'll see an A very next to an SMS. That means it's an automated message. I will show you that functionality in a bit. So what other things you can do is you can tap on these and you can add macros to a message. So basically what a macro is that you would add this, a first name and last name, and then that would just automatically populate Katy Perry's first name and last name in there. So you wouldn't need to type them in. Other things you could add very quickly is her email address, any other information she put in while she opted in. Other things you can do is you can add photos to the message. You can choose a file from the library. You can add a link. You can add a video. You could essentially record an audio from there and send that to you. As I've shown you before, you can add a link. You can add a link in two ways. Either you choose a link from the library of links you've built, or you could just add a new link. This is for sending the message later. So for example, you receive Katy Perry opts in, imagine Katy Perry opted in quite late in the night, say 7 o'clock, 7 p.m., which is out of your working hours, and obviously it's a bit late for Katy Perry as well, so you don't want to follow up with her at that time. So what you can do is you can just schedule a message to send later. So you can just schedule and say, look, it should go at a certain time tomorrow or any other day. Whilst we're at it, let me just show you the all inbox. So essentially what all inbox is that you will access the all inbox from this button over here on the app, and that will essentially show you all the SMS that have been sent or received by all of your leads across the app, all your leads. Essentially, it's a snapshot of who has replied to an SMS or what SMS has been sent out. And also, imagine someone sends you an SMS and then they're not registered as a lead on FitCentives just yet. So for example, here, Katy Perry is a lead. You see this thunder icon? That means she's an existing lead. But these over here, they haven't been added as leads yet. So you could very easily just tap on it and add them as leads. Anyway, going back, so that's all the SMS functionality. I'm going to show you a little further down the line how you could automate the whole SMS sending functionality. You'd be able to add sequences as you do in Scipio. I'll show you that very quickly in a bit. But let me just show you how you could send out emails. You can start following up with Katy Perry. So once you've manually sent SMS to Katy, you can actually follow up with her by sending her an email as well. So you would come back and you would click on this. And that would just take you into the email feature. And you'd be able to send direct emails to Katy Perry as well. There are two ways you could send emails to Katy Perry. Either it could be sent directly from your default email address. So for example, if your email address is jeff@techsweat.com, you would be able to register that with FitCentives as you do with any other email client on your phone. Or you could send it from a FitCentives subdomain. So for example, we'd set up an email address called jeff@techsweat.fitcentives.com, and it will be sent out from that email. As you can see, this mimics any other email client, email application you're used to using on your phone. Also, the thing about having an email functionality within FitCentives is that everything is carefully logged against Katy's profile. So every time someone sends an email to Katy, whether it's you or one of your employees, it's carefully logged in Katy's profile. If she replies, it's carefully logged over there. So all the information that is sent to her or got back from her is logged into her profile. Whilst we're at it, let me just show you all email inbox. So just like all inbox for SMS, you're going to have an all inbox for email as well. That's where you're going to have all the emails received and sent across all your leads. Again, the thunder icon means that it's an existing lead that has replied to an email or where you sent out an email to her. But if there is no thunder icon, that means that there is no, for example, this person, Rich, is not registered as a lead just yet. So you could just tap on it and add them as a lead as well very quickly. Other things you can do is We have a feature called comments. So you can add notes against Katy Perry. So for example, you could add any file, any before and after picture. If you have any signed waivers, you could add them here. Any PARQ, any videos. You can even tag a team member over here. Let me just show you that. So you can just add a picture or anything like that. You can tag a team member over there. So all of these are supposed to be your team members. So for example, if you have someone called Amy working in your team who is responsible for a specific area, maybe she's very good at nutrition or something, you could say, hey there, Amy, at what you would just type at over here and then choose Amy, and you will say, hey there, Amy, could you tell me what kind of diet Katy Perry should be on? And then as soon as you save it, Katy would get a notification on her app, and then she could just go in and add to the note. So it's good for all of that. So any information which you need to save for Katy, any files, any pictures, any videos could be added over here and is carefully stored in one place. So you know exactly what's happened with Katy as a lead, what kind of follow-up was done, what kind of notes were added against her. That's all done over here. Other thing you can do here is anything you do in terms of who follows up with Katy, who sends her an SMS, who out of your team calls her, what kind of emails are sent out is all logged over here. So there's a very careful trail of what action was taken, what time it was taken, who took it. All of the stuff is going to be added over here. What she paid for, everything's going to be, essentially any event that occurs against Katy would be added over here. So for example, if you put one of your team members in charge of following up with Katy, then you would know exactly what they did, whether they followed up on time or not, whether they were doing it properly or not, whether they actually did it or not. So everything is going to be over here, all time stamped. So if you have a team member who's not performing, you would know exactly what they're doing. And then there's this whole accountability factor where they would know as well that, look, you're watching them and you know exactly what they're doing. So everything that's been done against Katy is logged over here. Other thing you can do is you can assign Katy to one of your team members by clicking here. You could delete her. In the future, we're going to have functionality for FB, Facebook message as well. So that's going to come over there. You can move the lead if you're using MindBody, and if you have the integration with FitCentives, which is very easy to set up, you would be able to move Katy Perry to MindBody very quickly from there. Okay, so other things you can do for Katy Perry is that you can assign follow-up tasks to be done here on her profile. I'm going to explain the whole task feature very much in detail in a bit, but just quickly. So imagine you want to leave a follow-up task for one of your team members or for yourself, so you could remember that, look, call her to book an orientation. You could just add it from here by pressing this button, and it would just get added over here. And you could assign the task to one of your team members, to yourself, and assign a due date as well, so it doesn't go missing. Also, if you book whatever sessions or orientations you book for Katy Perry would be added over here as well. I'm going to show you very shortly how you could book orientations and tasks very shortly, sorry. Okay, now, so I'm moving on to the more important feature of the application. Okay, now that we're following up, now that we're talking about how to better follow up and manage prospects and turn them into members, I want to talk about probably the most powerful feature in FitCentives. I'm talking about stages over here. These are stages. Some people might want to call them buckets. Some people might want to call them groups. One of our good friends, Steve Eckhart, calls them workflows. So whatever you want to call them. Essentially, what stages are a way to group and organize your prospects based on where they are in the sales cycle of you converting them into members. So for example, let me just show you how I've set up stages based on your sales system. So now that we're talking about how to better follow up and manage prospects and turn them into members, I want to talk about probably the most powerful feature in FitCentives. I'm talking about stages over here. So these are stages. You see these dots and these new leads, trial members and all of that? These are stages. Some people might want to call them buckets. Some will call them groups. One of our good friends, Steve Eckhart, calls them workflows. So whatever you want to call them. Essentially what stages are, they're a way to group and organize your prospects based on where they are in the sales cycle of you converting them into members. So for example, here I've set up stages based on your sales system. So you have multiple stages such as new leads, trial members, orientation set, no shows, new member onboarding, full member onboarding, cancelled members, and then 21 days follow-up. So let me clarify. This is based on your sales process. We talked about it. Any other customer of ours will have the flexibility of naming their stages as they like. Also, they'll be able to have as many stages as they want. Stay with me here, Jeff. This is important. Anyway, so as you or your team starts to follow up with your prospects, they will move them along the stages according to where they are in the sales cycle. For example, you have this lead call. Let me just go back. So now let's choose this, easy. So for example, you have this lead called John Smith that's just come in. That was here 2 days ago. Actually, no, it hasn't just come in, but it's been here for 2 days ago. After following up with them a few times, and when you manage to get them to book a session, you simply move them to orientation stage. Let me show you how. So you will just click on it. Imagine you've done the follow-up, everything properly. Now you will just move them to orientation. Now imagine going into your FitCentives app, wherever you are, you will know exactly how many people you have in each stage of the sales cycle. You will get a quick and clear snapshot of how many people you're about to convert into members. So let me just show you, now that you move John Smith into orientation set, you'll see that he's disappeared from here, and now he's going to be in orientation set. So now you know you have 1, 2, 3, 4 people who have the orientation set. Most importantly, as you see these stages, they are manual. Means any lead in that stage needs to be processed manually by you or one of your team members. But here's the best part. You can turn any of these stages into a smart stage. What I mean by a smart stage is that you can automate all the follow-ups in the stage, so you or your team member would not need to do anything manually. I'm going to show you how you could automate these stages in a minute. So, smart stages. people who have used, I think the people who've used apps like MailChimp, Scipio, Infusionsoft, ActiveCampaign will understand this better. They will know exactly what I'm talking about. But we take this a little further over here. Any of your stages can be turned into smart stages, i.e. campaigns. I think that's probably an easier word to use, campaigns, but we call them smart stages. But anyway, any lead that enters a smart stage automatically starts getting follow-ups based on the sequence you set up on the smart stage. So before I show you, here are things you can automate in a sequence. You can automatically send SMS after intervals you set. You can send emails after intervals you set. By the way, this is email functionality, email automation is something we're still working on. So this functionality might be a little bit limited in the first release, but we are very hard, working on it. So it should be out very soon. You can automatically assign leads to another team member. When the lead reaches a certain point in automation, you can automatically assign tasks to a lead when the lead reaches a certain point in the automation. You can automatically move the lead to another stage after a certain point in the automation. As well as that, you can set up conditions such as if a lead replies to any of the automated messages, move it to another stage, assign it a task, notify someone that the lead has replied. If a lead books an appointment whilst in automation, do certain things like assign it to someone, add a task against it. Let me just show you how you can set it up. So imagine, okay, right now, this is your sales system. So imagine you have this stage called new leads, which you want to automate. So imagine you want to automate it. So as soon as a lead comes into new leads stage, so for example, as soon as they come in from ClickFunnels or wherever they land into new leads, you want them to get a welcome SMS. Then you want the lead to be assigned to one of your team members automatically. And then you also want to add a follow-up task to the lead. And then you want to add a condition that if whilst in new leads, the lead replies, move it to another stage. So let me just show you how you could set it up. So right now, as you can see, this is a manual stage. So let me just convert that into an automation, i.e. a smart stage. So you would simply go into settings, stages. You see the whole list of all the stages you have in your pipeline. You would click on it. Right now, as you see, there's no sequence defined in this stage, and also the automation has been turned off. So let's add, as I said, we need to add a welcome message. So let me just add that. You just click here, action, SMS, and let's say you want to add a welcome and thank you for joining, and you just press send, and that gets added into the sequence. By the way, as you saw, I was typing a message. You could also choose one of the templated messages, which you would have a template library. So let's also assign this. Let's also add automation that the lead gets assigned to one of your team members. So let me add that. So let me just assign it to Dimit as soon as a new lead comes into new leads. So right now, as soon as a lead comes into new leads, they will get this SMS, and also they will get assigned to one of my team members. Now you want to add a task. Let me just add that. So call them to book orientation. So you want to also assign this task to one of your team members. Let's give it to Dimit again. We do that. We save. Sorry. Save. We want the task to be done, say, on 21st of June. We add the due date, and we want the task to be done at a certain time, say 5 p.m. And then you save, and then the whole task gets assigned to the sequence as well. So let me add a condition whether if the lead replies whilst they get the first SMS. Let me just add the condition. So for example, the condition is that the lead replies when they get the first message, or whether they get any of the manual messages. You want the lead to move to another stage, which could be child number, for example. It could be anything. So simply now you need to enable the automation. Before you automate it, it just confirms that whether you're sure you want to automate it, because as soon as the lead goes into that stage, it's going to get automated messages. You activate it. Now that's a smart stage. As you can see, the A means it's an automated stage, and it's very clearly defined, distinguished that it's a smart stage. But let me reiterate. As soon as any lead that would go into a new lead stage would get an automated SMS, it would get assigned to one of the team members automatically. It would get assigned a task assigned to one of the team members to call them to book orientation. And in case, whilst the lead is in that stage, they reply for any reason, it gets moved to another stage. So really now, if these leads had come in after we turn this into an automated state, all of these would be part of the automation. So let me just show you. So let me just show you, it's very simple, but let me be very clear. What I showed you is probably a very simple automation. You can make any smart stage automation for as long as you want it to be. You can add as many SMS, emails, assigns, intervals. So think of it like an automation in ActiveCampaign or MailChimp, where you could have a very long sequence. For example, we have one stage, I set it up before, we have this one stage over here called 21 days follow-up, which I added for you. And let me just show you what the sequence looks like in the 21 days follow-up. So right now, the way I set it up was as soon as a lead goes into 21 days follow-up, they get an automated SMS, then the application waits for a day, and then it sends them another SMS, say I need to follow up, and then at the same time it adds them a task and assigns it to one of the team members to call them. This is the description. Then it waits for another day, then it sends them another message, and it just goes on for a very long time. Essentially 21 days. So as I said, you can add as many automations, as many automation sequences as you want. You can make it as long as you want it to be. We are adding a lot of other items into the automations once you go live, but these are some of the features. You'll be able to add so many different things. So this is going to be a game changer. By the way, some people would be familiar with broadcast. So for example, you might want to send a group message to all your leads or all the people who are in a certain certain stage. For example, let me just show you over here. We've called it multi-action. So for example, you want to send an SMS or email to your entire list that's in new leads. You would just click on select multiple, and it would just give you the actions you can perform on the whole list of people. So that could be sending them this, you can send them a group message, you can assign group tasks. For example, you can, in bulk, you can assign them tasks. You can assign it to all of them. You can assign to one of your team members. You could delete them in bulk. You can move them to another stage. You can move all of them to MindBody. So you can do all of that. Okay, moving on to appointments. How you could book appointments for your prospects. I spoke to a lot of gym owners, and a lot of them have this issue that where they don't know which one of their prospects booked their orientation, the consultation, their first workout, and never actually turned up. So that's an actual problem. So stay put. I'm going to show you how you would be able to avoid that, and we'll know instantly when there is a no-show. As well as that, you'd be able to skip Calendly or Schedule One, so any other scheduling app, and just do all your scheduling from within the application. So let me show you that. So first of all, imagine you have set up classes in your app. Now you want to book sessions against it. So just imagine, for example, hypothetically, we have a class called Body Pump. Could be anything as you name it. It's up to you. You set it up. You would just very easily go into the class, and you would see all the sessions which you booked against that class. If you want to book more sessions, if you want to set up more sessions against that class for the coming week or something like that, you would just press this button. You would choose the team member you want to conduct the session. You would choose the time slot, which when the session should take place. Of course, the app takes into consideration when it shows this time that your gym opening times should be considered, and the staff's working hours and their free slots, and it only shows you which lie within those times. You go next, and then it just gives you an overview of the session, and then you just save it. You press next, and this basically gives you a whole overview. And now you've just set up. You can just press save, and this will appear in the booked sessions. It will also go into the person who's conducting the session, the trainer who's conducting the session, into their plan as well for the day. Once you have a booked session, you can add attendees against it. So you can add, for example, Andy Pereira, who's one of your leads. They call up and they say, look, they want to come in for a session. You can just add them here, there, and then. Or just imagine Katie calls and she says she wants to come in for a session. You will simply go into Katie's profile. You would press this button. And you will see, you will choose the session she wants to come for, and eventually imagine she wants to come for Body Pump, which is taking place on a Monday at 10 a.m. You would just add her there, and as soon as you add her and save it, she gets an email and SMS confirmation that she's been added. And now I'm going to show you how the problem of no-show is going to be resolved. So every time a gym instructor, whoever is taking the class, has to mark this session as done, before they do that, they have to check everyone in by coming into the session. So they can't press this button and mark the session as done before they have either checked everyone in or confirmed that they didn't show up. Until they do that, they can't mark it as done. They will get a pop-up saying that, look, you need to check everyone in or out. So what that does is, for example, if they do all of that and they mark this as done, Tom Hardy, who's he's a lead in your app, will get flagged that he didn't turn up for the session. He was a no-show. Straight away, if whoever Tom Hardy is assigned to, so for example, one of your team members is responsible for looking after the lead, Tom Hardy, they will get a notification that, look, Tom Hardy didn't turn up. As well as that, they will get instant follow-up, which you can set up in a smart state that, look, hey, Tom, we are worried about you. You didn't show up. Hope everything is fine. You just show some love. So you can do all of that. And you could also automatically add a task against Tom Hardy that, look, someone needs to call them and find out what happened. So no one, falls through the cracks, and Tom Hardy feels good that someone followed up, and they also feel guilty about not showing up. So as well as what I've showed you over there, you can let me just show you how you can add tasks again for your team members. Let me just quickly show you. Yeah. So each one of your team members will have the daily plan, and you will have your daily plan as well, which you can access from. This is going to be on your app. You will click on it, and you will have a whole list of all the tasks which you have to do, all the appointments which are set up for you, which you need to take, or you can just press here and you can see all the tasks and appointments set up for you. If you're the gym owner, you would be able to add filter and see everyone else's appointments and tasks as well, and you'd be able to know exactly who is not marking their tasks as done, whose tasks are overdue, or whose appointments are overdue and they're not being marked as done. So there's a whole accountability thing, so you can better delegate tasks to your team and get them to do all the work whilst you just monitor them. So you're going to see this screen. So for example, if you want to add a task or an appointment, so you would just press this button over here. So imagine you're adding a task, you would press this and you would just come to this screen. You will be able to add the title of the task. It could be anything like follow up with Katie or follow up with John Smith. Add the description, what you want them to do. You can assign it a lead, or it could be without the lead. It could be just any other task that, look, hey, Amy, you could assign it to Amy, please clean the windows or fix the light bulb. You could assign it a due date or a time. And then as soon as you save it, that will get added over here into their plan. And they will get a notification straight away telling them that, look, a task has been added and they need to do it and there's a due date. So I want to talk about push notifications and email notifications. The whole point of having this application is to speed up the process, organize the lead follow-up, and especially automate the whole thing. So you will get all sorts of notifications and reports. For example, as soon as a lead gets entered into FitCentives, you'll get a push notification, your email notification. If someone is not doing the task on time, you will get a notification. If there is a no-show and the lead who didn't turn up is assigned to you, you will get a notification. If someone deletes an appointment, you will get a notification. If a lead replies and it's assigned to you, you will get a notification, so you can actually reply to them straight away there and then rather than waiting. And we have a ton of other notifications which you will get. As well as that, you will get your daily and weekly reports as well. So daily report is essentially going to be what things you have to do for the day, what your team has to do for the day, how many leads are being converted into members, how many appointments are set. So you have a real pulse of what's happening every single day. A weekly report is going to be more detailed, where it will show you what happened the week before. It will give you comparisons. It will show you who out of your team is performing the most, who's finishing their task on time, whose follow-up is the strongest, the quickest, who's converting most leads into appointments and then members. So you'll have a real pulse of your business. As well as that, you will have a dashboard where you'll be able to see all sorts of data. So this was just a quick overview. There's actually a lot more things we can do on this. We've done it. I just don't have enough time to explain them in too much detail. But we're just getting started. So over time, this is going to be a real game changer for our customers. So what I want to do is I want to get 20 new customers. I want to work with them in the beginning and really tweak the application based on their feedback and how they use it. So whoever gets onboarded now, comes on board now, is going to be essentially helping me shape the application, and they will get it before everyone else. So please contact some people and see what we can do. Thank you very much, and look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye.